What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Easy Root, and I'm back again with another one. I need you guys to do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, that notification icon for more videos like this. That being said, let's get into it. Bob Arum, they call the guy the godfather of boxing, who's been around for the longest. He's 90 years old? Dude's almost 100 years old, still promoting boxing. He had the pound-for-pound king, Terrence Bud Crawford, and he refused to promote him. It's like at this stage in Bob Arum's career, he wants these fighters to promote themselves. It's ridiculous. But he does show up to all these events, So I salute him for showing up, but he doesn't go out his way and spend as much money as he should to promote these guys. He's been around for a minute. Bob Arum is at it again. He does a few interviews every chance he gets. Who wouldn't want to interview Bob Arum? But anyway, I'm talking about the fact that Bob Arum, he recently did an interview about Shakur Stevenson versus Lomachenko, and he shuts down that fight. He says Shakur Stevenson versus Lomachenko is not happening this year because there's still war in the Ukraine or wherever Lomachenko is currently staying. Or he says something around that. I'm going to play the audio, but I'm just touching on it briefly. He says something about that, and he also said Floyd Mayweather is scared to make Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Tank Davis because he knows who's going to win that fight. So he's pretty much saying Shakur will beat Gervonta Tank Davis. What do you guys think? Do you guys believe Shakur beats Gervonta Tank Davis? I do. I agree with Bob. I think Shakur beats Gervonta Davis. And it may not even be as close as we think it will. If Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't box, he may not have a chance against Shakur. Even though a lot of people will try to give him the edge because of the power. But he needs to box with Shakur. Is Gervonta a southpaw? Damn. How am I not remembering if Gervonta is a southpaw? So I think he is. I think Gervonta is a southpaw. So it'll be southpaw versus southpaw. And the crazy thing about that fight, southpaws don't like to fight other southpaws. Oh yeah, Gervonta would be in trouble. Southpaws do not like to fight other southpaws, guys. Let me verify that Gervonta is a southpaw. Yeah, southpaws don't like to fight southpaws, guys. Remember Crawford versus Spence? Crawford went southpaw against Spence, and Gervonta don't fight like Earl. I'm not comparing Gervonta to Earl. I'm just saying. Southpaw don't. He is southpaw, bro. I do it. Southpaw versus southpaw. That's a crazy combination right there. Now we know Floyd's gonna keep Gervonta away from Shakur because southpaws don't like to fight southpaws. Unbelievable. Let me go ahead and play this interview of Bob Arum talking about Lomachenko and how Floyd likes to marinate fights and he's not gonna make Gervonta versus Shakur. So let's go ahead and listen to it.
What is the latest? I heard that Lomachenko's now balking at Shakur Stevenson. So what's the plan?
No, Lomachenko is balking about fighting this year. Mm-hmm. He wants to take time off. The situation is still going on.
All right, let me stop. Let me hold on for a second, guys. Shakur's been going back and forth with Lomachenko on Twitter. I don't have the Twitter receipts you know. But he's been going back and forth with Lomachenko. He even went as far as saying Lomachenko beat Devin. You know, that's ridiculous. I don't know why he'd say something like that. A lot of people feel the same. I felt like Lomachenko didn't do enough to take the belt from the champion, but it is what it is. He went as far as saying that. You know, he's been going back and forth with Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson. It's like there's the one guy in the lightweight division that really wants all the smoke. First it was Devin, but once Shakur came up, yo, that's crazy. I feel like we see a repeat of everything in the sport of boxing a lot, bro. Wasn't this the same shit we was watching with Crawford and Spence? Spence, that's how I was a fan of Spence before not before Crawford. I mean, like around the same time. I was a fan of Crawford first, then Spence, because they was in different weight classes. It's the same thing here with Shakur and I'm not talking about Tank. I'm gonna just mention Devin Haney real quick. Devin Haney was the guy who wanted all the smoke. Devin Haney, this ain't about Devin Haney, but I just want to put that in there for a second. I just want to relay something real quick, guys. Or should I do that on another video? I'll do it here real quick. Devin Haney was the guy who wanted all the smoke. Nobody wanted to fight him. He finally got an opportunity. He got the belt. And he fought Cambosos, blah, 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 all that. Similar to Earl Spence, Kell Brook, and blah, blah, blah. Kind of similar situation, guys. Shakur Stevenson comes up in weight. Devin Haney has different energy for Shakur. I mean, it looks like history in boxing has a way of repeating itself, because that's like almost identical situation with Crawford and Spence, Shakur and Devin. But this is a video about Gervonta and Shakur and Lomachenko. So I'll leave that Devin thing out. I just wanted to relate that for a second. But anyway, yeah. So Shakur was going back and forth with what's his name? Lomachenko on Twitter. He even called Lomachenko a duck. And Bob is over here saying Lomo's not even worrying about coming back to boxing. He's going through some stuff. If I was Lomachenko, I'll come back to boxing immediately. The longer he takes away from boxing, the more it's going to hurt him. Remember what he did last time with Devin Haney? Before he came back to boxing and fought Devin Haney? I don't think he should take a long layoff like that and then come back. If he comes back and he fights Shakur, it's not going to look good. Shakur ain't no Devin. So he can't be taking these long layoffs, man. He gotta fight. He just fought, so he was active. If he fights Shakur, if he was going to fight Shakur this year, he would have that advantage when it comes to being active. I'm not saying he'd win the fight. I'm just saying he might start faster instead of slow. He's been starting slow in his last couple fights. Right? So I wouldn't want Lomachenko to take that long off of boxing. I know he was devastated about the loss to Devin Haney. He almost cried. But I really don't want to see him take that long of a layoff. He needs to come back to boxing immediately and fight Shakur Stevenson. Because the longer it takes him to fight Shakur, it may be close to a one-sided fight, man, because he's getting older. So he needs to fight this kid now before it becomes like close to a one-sided fight. Shakur can go in there, make Loma look average. Every single Lomachenko fight's been competitive. When he fights Shakur, if Shakur makes him look average, I hope a lot of people don't take credit from Shakur and say, I'll almost wash. They better not. But anyway, let's listen to Bob Arum. I haven't even played the interview yet. I'm going to go ahead and play the whole thing. And then we going to listen to Bob talk about Floyd Mayweather, how he liked the prolonged fights. he's going to prolong Shakur versus Tank.
What is the latest? I heard that Lomachenko's now balking at Shakur Stevenson. So what's the plan?
No, Lomachenko is balking about fighting this year. He wants to take time off. The shit situation is still going on in
Ukraine,
and it's come close to where he lives with all the bombing of Odessa. So really, he can't get focused on fighting. I don't think it has anything to do with Shakur.
So are you still planning to do Shakur sometime in November?
Oh, definitely.
Who do you think's willing to fight him? That's of note, because he seems to be very avoided in my view.
Well, yeah, I know, avoided. But, we're going to get the best possible opponent, and he's going to fight for the WBC title.
Do you think Tank Davis will ever fight him? Do you ever think he'll be allowed to fight him?
I have no idea. Mayweather's plan is always to stretch everything out until the opponent has nothing left. And, I can't talk for Mayweather, and I can't talk for Tank Davis, and I think that's a really interesting fight. But I think that Floyd knows the way I know, there's only one winner in the fight.
What is the latest? I heard that.
There you have it from Bob Arum. My take on everything Bob said. I don't like the fact how Bob is moving when it comes to Shakur. Bob is going to lose. He's going to lose out on Shakur Stevenson like he lost out on Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya, Mikey Garcia, Terrence Crawford. Just listen to Bob talk, especially when he was talking about Shakur. I didn't like that. He said, we're going to find the best possible opponents. Like, come on, bro. You know boxing like everybody else. Nobody wants to hear that. We want to hear you say, we're going to make this. You got Lomachenko. You got to tell Lomachenko, listen, man, you got to fight this kid. Shakur Stevenson. That's the fight the fans want. Shakur versus Loma. Bob is just, listen, man. Bob, you got to really give this guy Shakur what he wants, man. He's going to leave like Terrence Crawford, bro. Shakur, listen, y'all need to mark my words. Shakur might leave Bob Arum like Terrence Crawford left Bob Arum, like Floyd Mayweather left Bob Arum. And I hope he don't stay there too long like Terrence Crawford did. Because Bob Arum, it don't sound like he's trying to go out his way to make these big fights for Shakur Stevenson. He's putting Shakur Stevenson in positions to win these world titles, but the fans are still going to hate on Shakur and say, who did he fight to get those titles? So if Bob was smart, he should go after the guys with the names. Because boxing fans, they only care about guys with the names. You understand what I'm saying? And it don't sound like Bob is really pressed. He's okay with putting Shakur in there with anybody. He said Shakur might fight for the WBC title. Like, what are you talking about, bro? It's about who Shakur's fighting. This is what the boxing fans care about. They want to know who Shakur is fighting. Like, they want to see Shakur with a big name. So, if Bob says we're going to put him in there with the best possible opponent, I'm leaning more towards a guy like Jermaine Ortiz or some shit like that. And the public really wants Lomachenko. At least I do. And then Bob goes on to say Floyd Mayweather. He talks about Shakur and Gervonta, and he talks about Floyd Mayweather likes to pretty much prolong stuff until he can't prolong it no more. And he's going to prolong the Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson fight until it's the right time to make it. Until he feels like it's the right time to make the right amount of money. And I think that's what Floyd Mayweather is actually going to do as well. He's going to prolong this fight. He knows what's going to happen in the Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Tank Davis fight. He knows that. I think the whole entire public should know that. But a lot of people is huge Gervonta Tank Davis fan. So they're going to side with Gervonta Davis, But we got to come back to skills and defensive skills. Shakur is too defensively sound. He's a sniper. Understands distance. He makes the least mistakes in the sport of boxing. So, it's going to be... He spars Terrence Crawford. Who the hell is Gervonta Davis sparring? He's not getting no work close to a Terrence Crawford. He ain't getting no work close to a Terrence Crawford. Shakur Stevenson was training with Terrence Crawford for Earl Spence. Gervonta ain't training with Earl Spence. He ain't training with Terrence Crawford. He's not getting no work. Like, Shakur is going to be on another level when he gets in the ring with a guy like Gervonta or Devin. This guy, Shakur, is a lucky human being to be able to get work like Terrence Bud Crawford, a pound for pound. Imagine sparring a pound for pound king, getting ready for the biggest fight of his career, and he actually goes in there and he wins, and his defense looked good because he took some of your tools and he used it in his fight. Your confidence will be through the roof. Shakur Stevenson confidence must be through the freaking roof after what Crawford did to Earl Spence Jr. Sit down and think about it. He's the only fighter in boxing right now getting as good as work as anybody, if not better, because he's sparring a pound-for-pound king. And he's like a few weight classes below him. This is unbelievable stuff. It's your boy Easy Root, and I'm out.